Greetings, all. So, I think most of you all know that I love the kids. Number one, kids, young people. I like y'all old people too. Y'all are good. But I think the most critical component to our futures, to our being, our living, our breathing, our doing in the next, 10, 15, 20 years are our children. And I don't mean our children personally. I mean the children of this world. They belong to us. They are our responsibility, regardless to whether you're a parent or not. If you have an opportunity to help a child, to reach out and provide any level of assistance, to protect them from hurt, harm, or danger, to do any of those things, I beg of you, take that opportunity. They need us so desperately. And we probably step back and look at it and say, well, it's that parent's responsibility. But in reality, without children, we have no future. So they are not the burdens that too many of us tend to look at them as. They are beautiful gifts that have to be nurtured and cared for and loved on and grown into love and into a human being that is able to understand what life is supposed to be and what it means to love and to give back and to take care of your community, to take care of, more importantly, yourself, and then those that you see in need. And so through Share Necessities, our I Make It Count program, these are things that we teach. We start at home. We start with self. Self, home is where the heart is. Well, your heart is the center of your issues. So when you're hurt, when you are disappointed, when you're let down, it causes levels of pain in the heart. And so in working with children, that's where we start. We start to gently and slowly help them to dig in and figure out who they are and be accepting of that, first of all, and to love themselves. See, without love for self, you can't get anywhere. So, regardless of all the self-help programs, if you don't start there, if you don't love you, if they don't love themselves, it's not too much that any exterior thing can do to help that. So that's where we start, building that relationship, letting them know that you are worthy of love, and most importantly, you have to love you. And there's so much greatness. And so we begin with working on that, helping them to see how wonderful, their individual personalities are. There's goodness in everyone. And what ends up happening is we begin to cover those things to protect ourselves. And so we build walls. Well, actually, we start with building fences, and then we build walls. And before you know it, you have towers erected to protect the heart. And so we've got to be respectful of the fact that kids, yes, they are traumatized too frequently at young ages. They see too much these days. They're exposed to everything. And how many of them have genuine support and protection? I think that's one of the things that my children always harp on me, like, Mom, you're so protective, you're overprotective even. And it's because of what I know happens. But I'm protective and instructional. So I'm going to teach you what you need to protect yourself. I'm going to teach you what to look for. I'm going to teach you, first of all, and I tell my kids this all the time, not just my kids, but, all the kids I can. You're absolutely beautiful. You're intelligent. You're a conqueror. You can do everything. And I really believe that. And so my thing is if they get that at home, no one can sneak, the little things in on them and surprise them with, oh my goodness, you're beautiful, and they lose their minds. I believe that's especially important for our young girls, but our young men need to know that as well. You are beautiful, you are valuable. And so that being said, if we can take a minute out of our day to earnestly, without any ulterior motives, without, any looking for kudos or any of that. If we could just take a moment to share a genuine smile, a hug, blessings, anything with a young person today, I believe it will go miles and miles toward helping them with their future. They're deserving. They really are. Regardless to what you may think of them, honey, you've got to understand that they, at very young and fragile ages, are going through stuff that we just went through when we were in our 20s. But I got little kids. I'm seeing it, little kids who have been molested, little kids who have, just experienced the hardship and watched domestic violence and so on and so forth. And I know some of us have gone through those things as well. And I pray